Hi, can you just tell me once again when were the login details there and by which address? I'm not able to find those in my email.
Is that Sandeep?
Yeah, this is Sandeep here.
Yeah, Shraval, can you help Sandeep, please?
Sure, we'll send it on WhatsApp.
Achha,
Okay.
what happened? Nitin? What? Nitin?
Yes, you can start.
Okay, yeah, please start.
Good morning, everyone,
Yeah.
and welcome to my presentation, How We Managed to Reduce Churn by Building Brand Salience Brick by Brick. As we all know, that Reliance Jio took the cellular industry by storm immediately after its entry in 2016, taking the fight to all other players and eating into their subscriber base. Jio was without doubt reigning supreme. On 31st August 2018, to survive this Jio onslaught, Vodafone India merged with Idea Cellular to form a new entity named Vodafone Idea Limited. It became the largest telecom company in India. But even after the merger, while Idea catered to a rural user base and Vodafone focused on an urban user base, VIL continued to lose its subscribers. The next thing we knew, Jio snatched the market leader position from under our nose. In 2020, due to the COVID lockdown, as telecom consumption increased, we were still losing millions of subscribers, which seemed like a definitive blow to the company. In the next few months, it became clear that VIL's race was not only against the competitors, but against time. If our market share continued to go down, the company's existence in the Indian market would be really difficult. And hence, it became imperative for us to define a strategy that would help us take back control of the churn. But how? How does a giant rise up again after falling to its lowest ever? How do we orchestrate the biggest comeback with one of India's largest telecom companies? Here's how.
COVID-19 majorly transformed consumer behavior, bringing a dramatic shift in media consumption. It was an industry-changing phenomenon, and this change was possible because of the internet. When the distance between people grew, phone calls and social media became the only way to reach your loved ones. In such a time where the demand for telecom services was increasing, Vodafone Idea Limited's market share was decreasing. This needed to change, so the company decided to take the lead. Brand salience triggers an instinctive response when they're seen or heard at critical purchase moments. A new brand was born to stay relevant in these changing times. But there was a major challenge in changing the entire identity of a brand during a nationwide lockdown. As confinement measures were taken, a lot of media platforms became irrelevant. Entire media consumption shifted to TV and digital. TV witnessed highest viewership at 1.6 trillion minutes, and digital consumption increased even more. Weekly time spent on smartphones increased by almost 180 minutes. Due to limited media options, clutter on TV and digital increased. Insight number 1. For a disruptive impact, we had to get out of the clutter and stay solid on communications. Conventional media planning suggests that rapid brand awareness is a function of high share of voice consistently for at least 6 to 8 weeks in a low clutter environment. Insight number 2. Message impact and retention is highest when delivered in an uncluttered environment. To break the clutter, either we create a new media channel or find a way to declutter the high-reach mediums. We chose the latter option. We decluttered both TV and digital mediums for one day, fed in only V-brand messages, and kept changing the message renditions throughout the day. On 7th and 8th September 2020, India saw the biggest 24 hours media roadblock on TV and digital. So what exactly did we do? We tied up with India's largest network, Zee, With a strong presence not only in the Hindi-speaking markets, but regional and rural presence too. We unveiled the brand, not in an ad break, but inside top TV shows.
कुछ खास दिख रही है क्या?
कुछ खास तो अभी आ नहीं रहा। अब आप आ गई है ना, बैठिए, आ जाएगा कुछ खास। आइए।
वी, ये वी क्या है?
अरे आपको नहीं पता? अब वोडाफोन और आइडिया मिलकर वी बन गए।
To break the monotony, multiple 10-second creatives were made, where leading protagonists of various GECs across regional and Hindi shows welcomed the new brand.
वी की दुनिया में आपका स्वागत है।
The in-content integration was followed by 24 hours roadblock across 56 Z channels and 14 top news channels. Resulted in 75,600 minutes of commercial time talking only about V. We managed to reach 389 million people on TV alone in just 24 hours. We did not just stop there. Simultaneously, the roadblock was extended on digital by targeting users across all genres and leading platforms. The roadblocks on digital platforms and OTT platforms reached 265 million people with 72 million video views. For 24 hours, V was the only brand talked about on TV and digital commercial space.
Let me take you through our achievements. For the first time, we managed to create instant awareness for the new brand V with an unprecedented day after recall of 79%, which takes months or even years for a new brand launch. And in just 2 months of the launch, we dramatically brought down the churn by 38%. The campaign pushed positive sentiment for the brand to 38% and sustained it over 25% for the next 4 weeks. This is just unheard in the service industry. In just a week, 1.1 million users searched for V-related terms. And myv.in website saw 1 million plus visits, signifying an increase in people's interest towards the brand. Additionally, we managed to get 1.3 million app installs for the new V app. With so much buzz, V was the most talked about brand, toppling every trend and conversation to become the buzziest brand on social media. Brands from other categories, including a competitor, joined the buzz to welcome V on social media. V's unveiling was one of the biggest brand launches in India that created history during a time of crisis and need. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I request the jury members to just save their scores, and we would move on to the next case study to be presented for the day. Kavita, can you please announce that?
The next presentation is Webmaker for FirstCry using dark and not bark of FirstCry.
Hello everyone, Priya from Webmaker presenting.
Please.
Sure. Can just someone confirm if you can see my screen on full screen mode?
Yeah, we
Yes.
jury members, you can see the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Priya, please hold on until jury gives scores and confirms us. So then you can start your.
No, I think if the jury members are comfortable, they have done their scoring, we can proceed with the next one.
Sure.
Okay. Should we proceed? I'm asking the jury members, should we proceed?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yes, please give a clearance to Priya and then only count her time. Don't Nitin? Yeah. Nitin?
Sure.
Yeah, please start.
Hello everyone, Priya from Wavemaker. I'm presenting a case study on FirstCry to you today.
Priya,
Yeah, you're on mute.
I'm extremely sorry, guys.
we can hear you.
Sure, I'll get started. E-com is one of the fastest growing sector in India with an estimated CAGR of more than 27% in coming years. Media investments reflect the same sentiments. Amazon media spends are next only to FMCG giant HUL for the last few years. The pandemic has further accelerated media spends of e-com giants by 82%. FirstCry, the only channel retailer that focuses on baby and mother care products, wanted to create awareness for its unique platform and its variety of product offerings in this highly cluttered media space. Our objective, create awareness for FirstCry, which had less than 1/10 media budgets as compared to e-com giants. Like any other advertiser in the country, television presented opportunity to create base level awareness. However, what percentage of TV watching universe was even relevant for FirstCry? Out of 891 million BARC universe, the FirstCry audience was only 9%. This meant if we spent 100 rupees, most likely 91 rupees would get wasted. How do we then make the 100 rupees work harder by reducing the 91% wastage and maximize our presence within the 9% addressable TV audience for FirstCry? Does BARC even have enough sample size that was relevant for FirstCry? The BARC panel today has roughly about 44,000 households. 9% of that would mean a mere 3,809 sample size representing FirstCry TG. On the other hand, motherhood brings in new challenges. Every mother on a daily basis goes through self-evaluation. How good a mother I am. She feels lack of control. Mothers worry if they are making the right decisions for their kids. They feel lack of idealization. Many mothers feel guilty that they're not doing a good job as compared to other moms, peers, or their own parents. FirstCry wanted to comfort these worrying mothers by becoming their ally in giving the best to their child. But how could we do all this with 1/10 media budgets as compared to other e-com giants and with only 9% addressable TV audience? We decided not to base any of our decisions basis BARC. We rather decided to go back to each mother who chose FirstCry and was part of FirstCry DMP. The FirstCry DMP is a strong base of 80 million mothers, which is the biggest base in APAC. We asked them questions on an ongoing basis that helped us create our own audience and viewership monitoring system, which we call it as DARK, Digital Audience Research Council. As compared to 3,809 sample size of our TG in BARC, the average sample size of DARK surveys is 20 to 30,000, giving us robust data points to build our own TV strategy, planning, and buying metrics. Key details about DARK, the survey system. We have a survey system that is synced with our database. It allows us to build our own if-then-else journeys. It enables us to target the surveys to specific sets of users and gain valuable insight in hours. Survey operation. The media survey is a one-time configuration on our system. The entire survey targeting syncs with our database to ensure it is served to the right people. We get reports once in a week and a comprehensive dashboard every quarter. As and when we need to modify the survey, we make changes on the same system and it goes live real time. The survey targeting. Since our task was to create awareness for FirstCry, we needed to understand the media habits of new audiences coming to our platform. Therefore, we target our surveys to various segments such as new registrations, new app installs, first-time buyers, first-time heavy browsers, etc. Different surveys are targeted to relevant segments to further optimize media deployments. The survey reach. We try to drive unique views as much as possible. The survey is served 24/7, which keeps us updated on insights. The data is now used to identify shifts in TV viewing behaviors and modify the media strategy accordingly. To take you through the key findings of DARK, let me take you through an AV.
Meet Anya. Anya is a new mom. Like most moms, she constantly wonders if she's making the right decisions. While she is still figuring motherhood, one thing is for sure. She wants to do the best for her child. FirstCry wanted to target Anya and new age moms like her. The last few years have seen exponential growth in media spends for e-com sector, creating huge media clutter. Our task was to create awareness for FirstCry, which had less than 1/10 of media budget as compared to e-com giants. TV presented a key opportunity to create awareness. However, what percentage of the TV watching universe was even relevant for FirstCry? Our research showed us that out of 891 million BARC universe, the FirstCry audience was only 9% of the overall BARC base. Further dissection revealed that the BARC panel has 44,000 households. 9% of this meant a mere 3,809 sample size, representing FirstCry TG. Maximizing our presence within the addressable TV audience was essential, and using BARC was not a reliable option. To create our media strategy and plans, we decided to rely on our own database. The FirstCry DMP has a strong base of 80 million mothers, the biggest base of mothers in APAC. We asked them questions on an ongoing basis that helped us create our own audience and viewership monitoring system, which we call as Digital Audience Research Council, or DARC. As compared to 3,809 sample size of our TG in BARC, the average sample size of DARC surveys is 20 to 30K. Annually, the sample size reaches 50 to 75K. DARC's survey system is synced with our database. Reports are generated once a week. A detailed dashboard every quarter. The survey can be modified and made live in real time. Surveys are targeted to various segments such as new registrations, new app installs, first-time buyers, etc. The surveys serve to our TG 24/7, which keeps us updated on insights. The data is used to identify shifts in TV viewing behavior and modify the media strategy on an ongoing basis. Few genre-level decisions made basis DARC. We found that moms create their FirstCry shopping cart during weekdays. We handpicked daily soaps and exposed moms with a range of categories available on the site to help them build their shopping cart. While the shopping cart is built over the weekdays, the buying happens during weekends. So reality TV became the right platform to close purchase. DARC proved that HD penetration is not restricted to metros, and it has higher presence in high-value FirstCry mothers. We tapped those mothers by investing 25% of our monthly budgets in this genre, unlike any other e-com giant. With regard to music, unlike any other advertiser, we picked only afternoon to connect with mothers. Basis, DARC findings. DARC showed surge in preference for movie genre over weekend. We used this genre to further facilitate purchase. Few planning principles derived basis outcomes of DARC. Dropping our channel basket from 60 to 29 channels and removing irrelevant genres such as sports, news, devotional, lifestyle, etc. Content-based planning rather than CPRP-based planning. Not advertising on daily soaps on Fridays. No investment on news in spite of rise in viewership due to pandemic. Picking programs, not time banks. Run longer edit of TVC on GEC, but shorter edit on rest of the genres. Enter a new state with HD first. Once the market sales starts picking up, start investing through SD. Among other such insights. Taking insights from DARC, we created India's first full funnel strategy through reality TV shows. Awareness with sponsorship elements like brand mentions, brand ads, marketing promotions. Active integration helped us build consideration for FirstCry offerings.
बेटी हुई तो उसकी पिंक फ्रॉक कहाँ से आएगी और बेटा हुआ तो उसके शूज कहाँ से आएंगे, ये सब मैंने सोच लिया
है। कहाँ से आएंगे हर्ष?
firstcry.com पे और कहाँ से?
Finally, facilitating purchase through Astons. Coming up window having CTAs, audience voting on FirstCry website for the first time in the country. The voting was done on a brand's platform.
आने के लिए firstcry.com के वेबसाइट पर जा
आप मुझे firstcry.com पर भी वोट कर सकते हैं.
Meet Anya. Anya is a new mom. Like most moms, she constantly wonders if she's making the right decisions.
Business results on the back of DARC between the last 2 financial years. 66% jump in revenue, 3x increase in orders, 5x jump in direct visits to the website, 50% increase in sale of fashion products on the website, 3x jump in organic app downloads. Organic app downloads now contribute close to 50%, which was earlier a mere 15%, reducing the overall cost per acquisition. Organic acquisitions also have much higher lifetime value, improving the customer cohorts, thereby improving the margin profile of the FirstCry business. And lastly, FirstCry had only 9% addressable TV
Last
audience.
1 minute.
Lastly, FirstCry had only 9% addressable TV audience, yet on the back of dark findings, we were able to convince the brand to be on air 40 weeks per year. Thank you.
Judges, you can please go ahead and score the entry and please let us know once you're done.
I just wanted to tell you that the presenter announcing the name of the agency is a part of the process, and it is not a case of disqualification. The disqualification happens only when in the AV or any projection that they show. Okay.
Smita, can you announce the next presenter so that they'll be ready?
Yeah. Okay. Are we good to go for the case study, third case study presentation for the day? Jury members?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So Smita, announce it quickly.
The next presentation, Wavemaker, PolicyBazaar.com, performance marketing comes to television.
Hi, so is my screen visible to everyone? Just clarifying that.
Yes, you can start. Your time starts now.
Hi, good morning, jury members. I am Shakti Sangwan, representing Wavemaker and our client PolicyBazaar for their case, performance marketing comes to television, under the category Best Media Strategy Services. When we think about performance marketing, what comes to our mind? Digital, right? Clicks, cost per visits, conversion rates, cost per acquisitions. But here, we are talking about performance marketing on television. Yes, you heard that right. Most of you must be aware that PolicyBazaar is India's largest online insurance aggregator portal. And the core audience of PolicyBazaar is a regular middle-class working professional for whom family is always top of mind. He's the person who takes care of his family's future needs, is tech-savvy, is in-market, and highly capable of taking learned and informed decisions and buying insurance. Currently, the penetration of insurance in urban India is very low. It's only standing at 19%. So our marketing objective was to maximize reach and subsequently generate leads. Furthermore, our media task was to continuously trigger newer audiences to visit PolicyBazaar.com at an efficient cost. Easier said than done, right? Traditionally, TV planning was output-driven. That is, programs and channels were selected on the basis of ratings. But we took on the strategy to shift from this traditional output-driven planning to outcome-driven planning, which was to drive lead generation and registrations on the website. And we hardwired this into our execution to drive the overall business ROI. We used analytics to drive a relationship between TV spots and website visits. And we discovered that visits to the website spiked within 8 minutes of airing of a TV spot. Now, all we needed to do was figure out the incremental visits we got every time with our television activity. So now the entire game was around incremental visitors. We first needed to find out the average incremental visitor. This was simply done by taking the incremental visit post-spot airing and removing the visits pre-spot airing and dividing it by 8. Further, we needed to arrive at an efficiency metric, and then was born cost per incremental visitor that we'll be referring to as CPIV. This, jury members, was simply the amount we spent on the ad spot divided by the average incremental visitor. And this became our thumb rule in outcome-driven TV planning. Lower the CPIV, greater the effectiveness of the TV campaign. Adopted a decision tree methodology and fused together granular web traffic data and TV media data. With the help of this methodology, we were able to derive which channels and programs were giving us the highest visits, which time slots and days in the week were driving maximum visits to the website, so that we could further optimize our channels, days, and time to heavy load us. So what really changed in our media planning approach? We moved away from the traditional currency of efficiency and planning parameters like reach, ratings, CPRP, largely spray and pray. Rather, we fused the 8-minute rule with TV spots data and focused on channels and programs giving us more incremental reach and low CPIVs. Let's take a look at non-loyalty planning in more detail. Simply put, we chose only those programs and channels which had lower repeat viewership, so that more new audiences were getting exposed to the TV spots, leading to newer and incremental visitors to the website for registration. Let's quickly pick up two channels here, Star Plus and Sony Max. First column shows the rating. A typical media plan would select Star Plus over Sony Max, right? Because of the rating. However, I would like to bring to your notice the other columns, which are coverage and reach and subsequent frequency levels. There, Sony Live picks up over Star Plus because it has a higher coverage of 13/10, and it is reflected in the audiences where Star Plus has more loyal audiences than Sony Max. Hence, we pick Sony Max to be a part of the TV plan and not Star Plus. This will eventually drive newer set of consumers to PolicyBazaar.com, thereby lowering the overall CPIVs, which remember was our thumb rule. We determined our ladder of choices by plotting CPIV on x-axis and visits on y-axis. So I'll quickly zoom in on this part so that it's clear for everyone. Low cost per increment visit and high visit, which you can see in the top left quadrant, were star genres, as can be seen here. These were Hindi movies and Hindi news. Followed by, the next in line was followed by low CPIV and medium visit. And lastly, high CPIV, high visits. By this, our plans were structurally shifted to dominate the limited high ROI driving channels and genres. Our altered investment choices can be clearly seen here on this slide. Our spends on cricket and GEC were significantly reduced from the previous years, and the investment was shifted more towards Hindi movies and Hindi news, since these were driving the maximum outcomes in terms of incremental visitors on the website for the brand. Typically, a TV planner would try to fit more primetime television spots in the plan to generate greater impact. But this impact would only be output-based, that is TVR, CPRPs. Rather, we noticed that primetime was not necessarily driving better outcomes for policy. These outcomes in terms of CPIV were better driven in time slots like 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., just before the prime time. Similarly, days like Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sunday were included more in the plan, since these days were driving efficient CPIVs as well. So, did our outcome-based TV planning approach deliver results for the brand? It definitely did. We saw a 30% spike in web traffic owing to a smarter outcome-driven planning strategy. There was a significant 34% drop in the cost per lead on the website. And the icing on the cake was when we found out that PolicyBazaar's advertiser rank also improved from top 94 to top 50 advertisers. We looked at pre and post pandemic. Unlike new .com players, with the belief in our strategy, we held our ground. We continued to use FCT spot buys. We avoided the constant temptation of buying high cost sponsorships on cricket and GEC, saving more than 300 crores in sponsorship costs. When most other advertisers stopped their media buys during pandemic, we prevailed. And our channel partners helped reduce our media buying costs by another 70 crores. Further, model-driven planning efficiency helped save us 30 crores. I'm sure we all understand the confidence media performance data inspires in media investment decisions. And I'm pleased to share that backed by this modeling, we confidently kept increasing our investment on news genres despite no performance data from BARC. Last but not the least, we helped our CMO with a good night's sleep. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shakti. Jury, you can please go ahead and score the entry and please let us know. Smita, can you also please announce the next participant?
Can you announce, Smita?
Hello. The next category is next media, innovation, digital media, and the presentation duration will be 7 minutes. And the presentation, next presenter is Mindshare for Lifebuoy, Lifebuoy Corona, Dance to Save Life.
Would you like us to take a minute and submit these since we're moving to a different module now?
Yeah. Please. There is a change of the category, which
Correct.
Smita, you should also announce we are done with this particular category, the category name. So, which is the category that is over now? Media strategy?
Media strategy, services.
Services is over.
Over. Now we are moved to innovation, digital, social media.
Okay.
And also, since there are only 3 entries, so out of the 3, we'll have a bronze, silver, gold. That's it. That for every category we are doing awards, right?
You are going to score only out of 100. The bronze, gold, and silver, we will vet out. We will do the average, and the committee will decide. So at the moment, Vinith, you're scoring out of 100 against every parameter. And in case of media innovation, you're scoring out of 100, not against 4 parameters and the implementation team. That's all. Cool. So, are the jury members ready for the next one, the third one?
So, sir, one more thing, as you asked, it's per category, there will be separate bronze, silver, and gold. So you can score accordingly to that.
Okay. Let's wait for a minute. No, judges, I think feel comfortable. If you feel we are going fast, please, no problems.
No, I think we're going just fine.
Okay.
We'll just wait for the network and all to work out.
No issues. In the meantime, Shraval, I suggest that, see, there will be a first-time jury members also. So you browse through the scores and see if they have correctly scored. In case they require any guidelines to be repeated or something, you please let me know.
Sure. Once we will monitor the scores once everyone scored.
Yeah, but do that as long as they are here, because they are all busy people, and
sure.
Yeah, difficult to get time once again. So, okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Vipin, we can get started.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on.
Yes. To all our esteemed panelists and our colleagues from the industry who have joined the call today, a very good morning. My question to you today is, how do you remember the COVID-19 pandemic? I remember this one particular time when I had stepped out to stock up grocery, thinking we might not get anything for the next few weeks. And there were many like me walking on the familiar street, which then looked like a war zone. It was when the lockdown was just announced. The mood was of anxiety. With all the things we were hearing and watching on our phones, it was quite a somber mood. It was in this atmosphere that Lifebuoy, India's largest hygiene soap brand, who has always played a part in leading role in combating germs, stood up and decided to take the message of staying safe with a simple act of washing hands to every Indian. The way Lifebuoy went about the activity this time was different. It didn't give in to panic. Lifebuoy required people to relate to the message positively. Had to break away from the clutter of serious and preachy communication around the topic of COVID. It had to look like a solution which people adopt merrily, wholeheartedly, and with a smile on their faces. What better platform than the one where over 20 crore Indians were heading for their daily entertainment? Oh yes, I'm talking about the sensation of the lockdown, TikTok. For the first time ever, 3 key properties on the platform were brought together. Top view roadblock with 100% SUV. Hashtag Lifebuoy Corona Challenge with a mix of big and small influencers, which fueled creating powerful UGC content. While each of these had a unique value and had been used on their own, the whole was much bigger than the sum of parts. Bringing these properties together allowed us to create the largest campaign seen on TikTok in India at that time, and thus were able to convert the platform from an entertainment portal to a public service portal. Lifebuoy thus took a big step. Oh, it wasn't just a step, it was a dance move. And no, it wasn't just a dance move, it was a dance revolution. A revolution to make India safe with a light-hearted and uplifting camaraderie. Let's now play the AV.
Sanket, we could not hear the audio. Can you please share the screen, stop sharing the screen and share it once again with the audio? You'll have an option below to share the audio as well while sharing the screen itself.
Sorry?
We are unable to hear the voice.
Oh, okay. Just one.
Please stop sharing and once again start the sharing. While sharing itself, you will get an option to choose play the audio, computer audio.
Lifebuoy, India's #1 germ protection soap, has always championed the cause of preventing disease through the simple act of hand washing. In March 2020, aware of its responsibility and moral position, the foremost message the brand could deliver was for everyone to wash hands with soap, any soap, the single most effective method to prevent the spread of COVID-19. An epic public awareness campaign was launched, nuanced to the media affinities of India, varied across consumer demographics, from the most affluent to the least. The total lockdown had caused a massive surge in social media usage, forcing our youth from the streets to the screens. TikTok during the same time observed a steep increase in users month on month, and it exploded to over 200 million monthly active users across the socio-economic strata of aspirers, next billion, and the strugglers of India. Lifebuoy saw an opportunity here. We partnered with TikTok, understanding that serious messages can be delivered in light-hearted and fun ways. Cause if it ain't entertaining, it is not important. So how do we do it? Simple. By making them dance to it. Lifebuoy reinforced its brand message with a hashtag Lifebuoy Corona Challenge and brought on celebrities as brand ambassadors. The campaign blasted off with a video featuring superstar Kajol, who had partnered with this social movement. The simple message highlighting the importance of hand washing directed users to the WHO site, the most credible source of information about the virus. The hashtag Lifebuoy Corona then kicked off by roping 40+ TikTok celebs and A-grade influencers to spread the word far and wide. A bespoke Lifebuoy hand wash song was created by rap superstar Badshah. Garnering a mind-blowing 1 billion views in under 24 hours. We didn't stop here. Through India's biggest entertainment sport, IPL, Lifebuoy made the cricket celebs dance to its steps. The well-choreographed hashtag Lifebuoy Corona aimed to create a real habit by emphasizing on the 5 steps of hand washing, literally educating people through masti and dance. We can only say that hand washing went truly viral. 4 million unique creators on the platform created 18 million videos, garnering out of this world 55 billion views in 12 weeks. Volume sales of Lifebuoy increased by 1,560 basis points, highest in the last 3 years, and the brand's annual penetration increased by 410 basis points. But Lifebuoy came to help by disrupting TikTok itself, converting a light-hearted entertainment to a purpose-led public service portal in the world's first massive COVID response on TikTok.
This well-choreographed challenge aimed to create a real habit by mimicking the action of hand washing, literally educating people through masti and dance, changing the platform from being a pure entertainment portal to a user-generated mass education portal.
Last 1 minute.
Was a humbling experience to see millions of people coming out and being a part, showcasing the power of aligning ourselves with people who share our brand values and thoughts. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanket.
Thank you. Moving on to the next presentation.
Sorry. I just wanted to understand. I just wanted to understand the scoring of this one a little better. I don't understand the two. What does that mean when you say scoreboard and I get best implementation agency. What does scoreboard mean? What's the difference? You know, sorry, I'm not clear. The other one was much clearer.
There are only two columns, right, over there in your score sheet.
Yeah, there is, but the one says scoreboard and the other says implementation team of the year. Implementation team of the year I get. What does scoreboard mean? It's strategy?
No, nothing. It is you score out of 100. I think
the entry out of 100. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Basis the similar 4 parameters if we look earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, thanks.
In case of innovation, you don't judge on the 4 parameters.
I get
you judge on the
quality of the innovation and the idea. Yeah,
correct. So when you tell us, we will go for the next one. Are you ready, Judge?
Yeah.
Moving on to next presentation, Mindshare for Pepsi. This pandemic, Pepsi helped the restaurant workers save their jobs.
Please let us know when we can begin.
You can start.
Friends, fellow admin and Indians, do engineers to this important announcement.
The audio is not clear.
Hello.
Yeah.
Is it better now?
It is better, much better.
All right, I'll restart. Friends, fellow admin and Indians, do lend your ears to this important announcement.
देश आज एक महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय करने जा रहा है। आज रात 12 बजे से पूरे देश में, ध्यान से सुनिए, पूरे देश में आज रात 12 बजे से संपूर्ण देश में संपूर्ण लॉकडाउन होने जा रहा है।
24th March 2020. COVID-19 had forced everyone to lock themselves in their homes. The future was uncertain and bleak. There was panic all around. Most businesses, including restaurants, had down their shutters for an indefinite time.
Hello.
People were striving not only for food, but for also good health. Basic necessities were in shortage. Around 3 million restaurant workers with 10 million dependents had lost their jobs, leaving them on the brink of starvation. Pepsi took it upon itself to alleviate this food crisis and create a social manifesto. Because this time, it was not about selling cola, but to extend our support to the restaurant workers and their families. Let's have a look.
वो रेस्टोरेंट वर्कर जो तुम्हारे लिए हमेशा एक्स्ट्रा फ्राइज लाता था, साथ में ज्यादा दोस्तों को देख कॉम्बो ऑफर बताता था, जो तुम्हारा भेजा फ्राई देख के बिन कुछ कहे एक चिल्ड पेप्सी लाता था, जिसे तुम्हारी फेवरेट टेबल याद थी, जो तुम्हारे गैंग के लिए झटपट खाली करवाता था, जो तुम्हारे लिए हमेशा अपने दरवाजे खुले रखता था, आज उसी के दरवाजे पर ताला है। जो तुम्हें कभी भूखा नहीं रहने देता था, वो आज खुद भूखा सो रहा है। वो सब रेस्टोरेंट वर्कर जो हमेशा आपके साथ थे, आज उन्हें आपके साथ की जरूरत है। हम मदद के लिए पहुंच नहीं सकते, लेकिन मदद पहुंचा तो सकते हैं।
Our message reached out to 30 million eyeballs via YouTube, the social media platform with 93% penetration in RTG. While our message reached out to millions, we saw a rapid shift in people's behavior during the lockdown. An internet-based marketing research showed that people had stopped ordering food online out of the fear of contracting COVID. Swiggy rose to the challenge and offered no-contact food delivery and witnessed an instant rise in online food orders. Pepsi leveraged this rise and in association with Swiggy and NRAI launched a fundraising initiative. Whenever someone ordered any soft drink on Swiggy, Pepsi provided meal to restaurant workers. Thus, Pepsi Save Our Restaurant initiative was born. Let's have a look at how Pepsi chalked it all out.
Thank you very much for the support by NRAI and Pepsi.
Last 1 minute.
Popular actors, singers, and chefs also asked for support from the millions of followers on social media. Additionally, 200 food influencers and bloggers amplified the message. Pepsi raised enough funds to donate 2.5 million meals to restaurant workers in just 45 days, surpassing targets. And this is how Pepsi Save Our Restaurant initiative brought not just food, but also smiles to the tens of millions affected by the pandemic. Humanity triumphed again. Thank you.
Time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikita. And Smita, can you please call out the next presenter's name?
Move on to next
And also,
presentation by Lodestar UM for Amul. Simple homemade recipes. Amul's non-stop live recipe show with 3,300 Amul chefs.
Yeah, is the jury comfortable? Should we move on?
Please let me know if you can hear my voice.
Yeah, Ritu.
yes, we will let you know, Ritu. Just to give us 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah, Ritu, just a minute. Is the jury comfortable to take on the next case study now?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So Ritu,
yes,
you may please start. Nitin, give a go ahead.
Sure. You can start now.
Yeah. A very good morning to everybody. Sorry, we are closed. Is the sign that you would have seen outside most hotels and restaurants during the pandemic. In fact, the pandemic pretty much threw everything that we knew out of order. All house helps and maids had completely stopped coming. भाभी आज खावा में શું બનાવવાનું છે? ભાભી आज खाने में क्या बनाना है? Typical house help questions. And if the food had to be made by me during the pandemic, what should I do for food today? Do I even know how it's to be made? I don't know where to search for it. Should I just look out for a simple recipe? Questions, questions, and more questions. Food, you see, happens to be one of the most research talked about topic today. My food garden, the restaurant that I went to, these are the recipes that I cooked. Practically everything is Instagrammable. But just because the picture is great doesn't necessarily mean that the recipe is great, right? How do you really know what's good? On the other hand, a quintessential consumer was at a wit's end trying to figure out what to cook 4 times a day for her husband and her family during the pandemic, while all of them are stationed at home. The HoReCa business, which is the hotel, restaurants, and catering business, accounts for a sizable chunk of the Amul business. Needless to say that Amul has very deep relations in this industry as well, including the chefs. So we said, what if? What if we approach these chefs who are currently completely underutilized, all stationed at home and idle, and we give them a platform to not just demonstrate their skills, but also give them their own set of fame and allow engagement with our consumers. We could get them to demonstrate simple homemade recipes using Amul products. So we started by first inviting just 2 chefs from a leading hotel chain, and we gave them our products and we said, why don't you whip up a recipe for us? And we put this on Facebook Live. And after that, the frenzy just started as many reached out to us completely of their own doing, to be featured, to show us their culinary skills, food techniques, and to be seen on a popular platform. Simple homemade recipes was finally conceptualized. So what exactly is simple homemade recipes? You see, we eat 4 meals a day, and Amul has a portfolio of products which is practically present on every meal table, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We would give an opportunity to a different chef at a different time of the day to create a different recipe, leverage the opportunity to engage with our consumers on an almost daily basis across all 4 meals, and help our friends, the chefs. In fact, the chefs could pick up any Amul product. The butter, the cheese, the milk, the paneer, the chocolates, everything would be at their disposal to create a yummy recipe. Consumers could buy the products online while watching the content through any e-commerce website as well. Simple homemade recipes would help us fill the gap in sales because of the HoReCa shutdown in some way. That gave rise to a non-stop live recipe show, always on, always dishing out yummy food. In fact, we not just did this to plug the gap in sales, but we also ensured that people found a fun and enjoyable way to cook yummy food themselves with the help of our chefs. This social experiment gained momentum as several associated and called us up to be part of this momentum. Not 10, 20, 50, but 3,300 chefs finally from 50 different countries reached out to us all on their own voluntarily to be part of this mega momentum. In fact, we had a lot of A-listers. Some of the names would be very familiar to you here. We had chefs from major chains like Hilton, Sheraton, even out of the country. Michelin star chefs who are so difficult to come by. We had Sweet Saran on board. Chef Thomas Gugler, who happens to be president of World Chef, created recipes with 977 chefs all at one go. This is no mean feat. We had 2,300 plus FB live sessions finally. Right from the decadent lava cake to Sattvic food, we practically had every kind of cuisine on board. We went live from Akshay Patra, which is one of the largest kitchens that one knows of, conceptualizing 24-hour non-stop cooking marathons with 200 chefs at one go, and many such cooking marathons were conceptualized by us. Quite clearly, the euphoria was palpable. A lot of people watched the content, tried their own recipes, tried our food techniques, created their own jigs, and made many, many, many recipes as we went by. 1,05,000 seconds of content to be precise. Let me show you what we did.
In a year that went down in history, you helped create history. When the world was locked at home, you helped simple homemade recipes travel the world. You became the culinary leaders for millions of followers across the globe. Thank you to all the chefs who made it happen. The world's largest live recipe show completes one glorious year.
Well, our content was clearly consumed by a lot of viewers, 1.6 billion to be precise. Amul's FB followers a whopping 57% increase. And well, we did manage to mitigate the loss in HoReCa as well through a double-digit growth in sales of our consumer packs. Each of the chefs became our army of believers, brand ambassadors at practically no cost at all to us. Again, no mean feat. Well, clearly the scale and popularity of simple homemade recipes is incomparable. You see a lot of brands create content. It is very easy to put out a social media message and say, we are like being opportunistic and leveraging COVID. But we created an influencer bandwagon of 3,300 chefs, all voluntary on their own. A massive scale and a massive effort, you see. Content creation, we all know, comes at a massive production cost, but we meticulously guided and directed each of these sessions, telling our chefs where the lighting should come from, where the food should be placed, where should our products be placed. All of this meticulously done at zero cost. Paid content. Social content, as we all know, needs to finally go viral, right? Whatever be the spends. Our POE ratio was phenomenal. Zero paid, 100% owned, infinite.
Last 1 minute.
You take a look at the calculation. 3,300 chefs, 2,300 sessions. What would it have cost you to do this? We did it at zero. That's all from us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ritu.
Thank you so much.
Wait for a minute. Okay.
Okay, moving on to the next presentation from Wavemaker for Oreo recipe.
You can start the presentation now.
Good morning. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So just starting, since Oreo is all about staying playful, I would just want to start with a little bit of a quiz. Now, I'm sure all of y'all remember this, right? It's called the Dalgona coffee. And do you all remember what the fruit was that was used to make this bread? It was the banana bread. Now, why do you think I'm getting all food nostalgic? So right at the start of 2020, India entered an unprecedented lockdown. And there was a lot of negativity that everybody had to deal with. Now, there were two ways that people dealt with this, right? Either they were spending time with their families or on their phones, or they were trying new recipes at home. And I'm here to tell you how Oreo was a big part of this challenge by trying to mitigate all of these negative energies and trying to try to bring alive a whole new line of home chefs. Now, biscuits as a category was booming. However, the sales for Oreo remained relatively flat. We had a huge task at hand. We had to increase consideration while also trying to stay playful with Oreo, and also stay relevant, stay playful, and to drive sales. So, of course, we did research. This offered two key observations. People were turning to social media as a distraction. So media trends showed that most people were spending all of their times mostly on phones. And of course, our consumers were seeking new snacking options. We saw this as a big opportunity. So the idea was to gain visibility by putting Oreo at the forefront, by introducing a social contest for our whole new line of home chefs, and to do it all on a platform that brings the two together. Enter Oreo recipe. Now, why recipe, you may ask? So chefs were sharing their recipes in the easiest form using pictures on social media. Now, just to tell you how it worked, I'm going to play this video.
Oreo, launched in India in 2011, has always been a popular part as an active ingredient in dessert creation for many chefs. With the onset of pandemic, new consumer trends emerged, looking for new passions and hobbies. There was a rise in in-home snacking. Consumers were seeking new indulgent snacking options at home from trusted brands. With the increase in homegrown chefs due to pandemic, Oreo wanted to gain a fair share of visibility when it comes to snacking. Hence, Oreo stepped in with their #Oreo recipe contest that was aimed at making these not-so-popular chefs popular. We announced a contest across social media encouraging #Oreo recipe entries from home chefs, and stand a chance to get your #Oreo recipe recreated by celebrity chef and win grand prizes. As the face of the campaign, we associated with two popular social media celebrities with immense fan following. To amplify this campaign,
we leveraged 37 influencers across social media. 3 entries were shortlisted, which were then recreated by Pooja and Rohan together in a fun and playful way.
Now, I'm here to tell you why this worked. Sorry, just facing a little. So, number one. So this was a very easy to engage with platform. All you had to do was take a picture of your Oreo recipe creation and post it with using the hashtag Oreo recipe. Number two, we deployed a very simple hero hub hygiene model. The hero being the long format, hub being the 37 influencers, and hygiene being the snackable content that we created for the challenge. And number three, there was the easiest form to get recognized on social media, which was influencer recognition, and 1 lakh rupees also, by the way. Just some results of the campaign. We had almost 500 million views on Facebook, 230 million views on YouTube, and 5.5 million interactions on display. We had 350 million plus consumer spawned awareness and 150 million people engaged with us across touchpoints. With just 37 creators, 181 content pieces, we had 6.9 million views, 649K engagements, 20.2 million reach, which was 238% more than planned reached, and 2,000 plus UGC content that was generated. Not an easy task, right? We also had the brand grow by 30%. So it just goes to show, right, whatever the new normal, that some things will always remain common. The high of creating, the joy of sharing, and of course, staying playful. Thank you so much. I'm Medha from Wavemaker.
Thank you.
Thank you, Medha.
Okay, moving on to next presentation.
Okay.
Yeah. Matchmaker for Netflix, Matchmaker, how we use consumers' moods to personalize content recommendation. On to Matchmaker, Netflix.
Just give me a second, please. Yeah.
Sure.
Yes, we will let you know. Please wait, Ravi. Once the jury completes the scoring, we will let you know to start.
I'm not seeing the Zoom.
You're in the app.
No, just beside the Zoom bar, you have another option, right?
1 second, sorry.
To keep on full screen, you can just click on this beside notes below, right corner.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Listen to
Jury members, can we go ahead and start the presentation?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Ravi, you can start.
Okay. 1 second. Hope you're all in a good mood today, because mood is what we're going to talk about. Moving? Sorry. Excuse me, I'll need to pause. I think it's not moving.
You can use the right click. And
now it's moving. Sorry. Sorry, let me start again. Hope you're all in a good mood today, because mood is what we're going to talk about today. How often have you heard this refrain? Abhi mood nahi hai yaar. Mood is a behavioral nuance that comes from the state of mind we're in. It dictates a lot of choices we make on a daily basis, or even choices in the moment. We use this behavioral trait for Netflix to personalize content recommendations according to consumer mood. The Indian OTT market is cluttered with over 40 players, all engaged in a race for the consumer's share of mind and a share of his wallet. 2020 brought with it the pandemic, and everyone was confined to their homes. With no shoots, TV had no new content to offer. Cinemas were shut, everyone was looking for content on OTT platforms. Capitalizing on this opportunity, all the players in the category started a race with high decibel marketing campaigns and collectively burnt 8,800 GRPs in a space of 2 months. Netflix enjoyed high awareness but lacked consideration. Barrier was that there was a massive perception that Netflix only has edgy, gritty content that is not for me. It was important for us to change this perception and establish the fact that Netflix has content for every mood and occasion. Content discoverability drives the consumers to various OTT platforms and drives success. While other OTT players had free content sampling, Netflix had its content hidden behind a paywall with no free trials. Consumers had to sign up for subscription. This made content discoverability difficult. However, Netflix had two advantages: a pocket-friendly mobile plan of Rs 199, unique to India, and more importantly, a vast content library that was unparalleled. Hence, the task was, how do we make this vast content library discoverable to those who think Netflix is not for me? Understand these consumers better, we used M-Insights, a proprietary tool for insight mining, and mapped out their audience persona. We identified 3 key behaviors that had spiked during the lockdown. They loved to stream music at different times of the day. Second, they enjoyed ordering food online. Third, they were very active on social media, talking about all these things that they loved. We had to be a part of these conversations. Also, when it came to entertainment, people are simultaneously fans of romance, comedy, drama, and action. I, for one, naturally veer towards action, but on a lot of days, want to have a good laugh. On some others, watch something that's more intense. We latched onto this insight to create the content Matchmaker that would take our current mood into consideration and match it to titles from Netflix's vast content library. 84% of all streaming title conversations on Twitter are about discovery, with users sharing and seeking recommendations. We had to make Netflix a part of these conversations in real time and at scale. To do all this manually is an impossible task. We had to find a solution that could pull people looking for content recommendations or talking about things they love and engage them. To do that, we leveraged Twitter's innovative API. It's better we showed you how we did it. Let me play the AV.
There is an audio issue, Ravi. Can you please stop sharing the screen, and while sharing the screen itself, you'll get the option just below on Zoom to share the computer audio. Please use that. Stop sharing the screen once. Click on the share screen once again.
Yeah.
Once you click the share screen option, there you'll be able to see below on the Zoom itself, on the bottom.
Options.
Please stop sharing the screen once. While sharing the screen itself, to choose the screen, which screen you have to
found it. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're constantly bombarded with new shows, trending now, top picks for you by streaming platforms. But is a new show enough to make you stay beyond a free trial? Because surely what we decide to watch or listen to is not just about their content, it's about our mood. And what explains your mood better than an emoji? Let's chat for a minute. We made Netflix the part of the 84% of real-time discovery on Twitter, where users are sharing and seeking recommendations. We found places where they revealed how they were feeling, like the Twitterverse, where emojis communicate all kinds of moods. Netflix decided to tap into moods to recommend content, and it was music to everyone's ears. With millions of Indians stuck at home during the pandemic lockdown, with no new content being produced, Netflix realized it was a great opportunity to showcase their vast library. Netflix Matchmaker tapped into moods and used it to recommend the perfect piece of content. Now that calls for a hashtag Follow Friday. When you sum up what you think in 280 characters, we summon your mood with just one emoji. Netflix users were asked to tweet an emoji which depicted their mood for a weekend binge, matched the user's mood by mapping out over 862 emojis to the vast library of content they have. Based on the emoji used,
Last 1 minute.
the recommendation engine sent an auto response with content recommendations. Netflix was able to solve one issue with its users' tweet. We could find the perfect matches for our Twitterati's perfect weekend binge. Every user's tweet was rewarded with a treat. Our goal was complete when our viewers grabbed their seats.
Why was this campaign unique? Social media was the place where all the magic came to life, and the campaign was amplified. It was the first campaign to give personalized content recommendations by being a part of thousands of social media conversations. To gauge consumer moods, we used emojis, which are a universal currency for emotions, scanning over 3,000 emojis to detect the most popular ones and mapping them to relevant titles in the Netflix library. Scale of the campaign meant that thousands of recommendations to the users, that too in real time. We had to minimize the human intervention, and it's not possible to manually give recommendations to every tweet. We built an automated bot that powered our recommendation engine and identified and mapped the emojis unique to our hashtag and served up relevant content recommendation. We truly use the power of social media
Time up.
to consumers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi.
Moving on to next presentation. Mindshare for Lifebuoy. Lifebuoy COVID campaign, saving lives, selling soaps.
Hitesh, please wait. We will let you know when to start.
Sure.
You can keep the screen share ready by the time. Jury members, can we go ahead and start the presentation?
Yes, for me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sadly, in the next 7 minutes,
Please go ahead and start, Hitesh.
sadly, in the next 7 minutes, when I speak, 2 Americans will be dead from the food that they eat. Jokes apart. Morning, everyone. I'm here to present a multi-platform case study by Lifebuoy on the digital innovations in the name of a COVID campaign. I'll begin with the AV entertaining you, post which I shall.
India, home to 1.3 billion people, 18% of the world's population, wasn't spared by the deadly COVID-19 virus, affecting millions. Washing hands and wearing masks had become the mantra touted by everyone. Lifebuoy, India's #1 germ protection soap, has always championed the cause of preventing disease through the simple act of hand washing. In March 2020, aware of its responsibility and purpose, the foremost message the brand could deliver was for everyone to wash hands with soap, any soap, the single most effective method to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Due to the diversity of Indian population, we divided India into 3 Indias. India 1, elite and affluent. India 2, an aspirer who since the lockdown had started working from home. And India 3, a struggler migrant who was pushed to further poverty. While the target audience was India, the three Indias within the country behaved very differently in terms of their media consumption. The only common link between the three was digital and mobile, with increased consumption on new age digital platforms. An epic public awareness campaign was launched, peppered with cultural gradations and nuanced to the media affinities of India's varied consumer demographics, from the most affluent to the least. Audiences from India One were reached by their favorite influencers, creating content around the importance of hand washing and steps involved. The brand's social initiative involved partnering with Yuvraj Singh's UV Can NGO and creating Insta stories, urging the audiences to wash hands and take right precautions to fight against COVID-19. Lifebuoy activated a moment marketing campaign on social media. On the day Prime Minister Mr. Modi appealed to the nation to show their gratitude towards the frontline workers by clapping for them. As India 2 in 3 audiences entertained themselves through influencers' challenges on TikTok, Lifebuoy reinforced its brand message of wash hands with soap, any soap, with a well-choreographed hashtag challenge and brought on celebrities as brand ambassador. A bespoke Lifebuoy hand wash song was created by rap superstar Badshah. This became a real rocket fuel for the campaign. The campaign resonated across the hearts of millions through one single voice: wash hands with soap, any soap. India, home.
Respected judges, you saw how we reached across India, the affluent, the aspirers, and the strugglers through their differentiated media touchpoints. Let me discuss how each platform we chose was innovative and unique, helping in building the brand purpose and the social message of reinforcing the importance of hand washing. On TikTok, we combined the 3 key elements of the platform for the very first time: top view roadblock with 100% SOV, hashtag Lifebuoy Corona Challenge with a mix of big and small influencers, which fueled the creation of powerful UGC content. While each of these had a unique value and had been used on their own, but the combined value was much bigger than the sum of the parts. Bringing these 3 properties allowed us to create the largest campaign on TikTok in India at that time. It converted the platform from being an entertainment stage to a public service portal for that time. Our moment marketing campaign on social media was first of its kind. We time controlled our messaging right before Modi ji's initiative of clapping to honor our civil servants at 1700 hours on the 22nd of March. We used the TDMA format in partnership with Facebook to deliver our message of gratitude to audiences across at the right time and with the right platform. We didn't go ahead with regular influencer campaigns like any other. We walked the talk of our purpose in association with celebs and A-list influencers. Celebs partnered with us to stand on Lifebuoy's larger purpose, working with platforms like Paytm to urge consumers to donate for the cause of COVID-19 preventive measures. RCB, Royal Challengers, one of the leading IPL team, became our official hygiene partner to spread the importance of hand hygiene and fight against COVID-19 across social media. The campaign reached out to 21 million elite, followed by 91 million aspirers and 51 million rurals. Nearly 1.2 lakh UGC videos created on Lifebuoy Corona, resulting in 55 billion video views. The campaign managed to move the needle on the business metric, with volume sales being the highest in 3 years by increasing to 1560 basis points. Lifebuoy's annual penetration increasing by 410 basis points. Gratifying results, aren't they? I must say, the campaign resonated across the hearts of millions through one single voice: wash hands with soap, any soap. Thank you, judges.
Thank you.
Kavita?
Yeah, moving on to the next presentation. Mediacom Communications Private Limited for Snickers, having your cake and eating it too.
You should also announce how many case studies we are done with so far. How many are over?
For this category, this is the 7th one and 4 are remaining.
after this, so
4 are remaining. 4 cases are remaining.
Acha, including this, 5 more to go, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that will, comfort. That will be of comfort to the jury members also. So keep on announcing that actually.
Sure. Jury members, can we go ahead?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Krishant, you can start. Your time starts now.
You guys there?
Hello, everyone. Hi. Can you guys see us?
Yes.
All right. So I have with me over here Kushant, who leads social media for Mediacom, and also Jaskiran, who works with me in the digital team. We all worked in a wonderful and funny and witty brand called Snickers. Today, we'll be presenting to you a strategy on Snickers, which is having your cake and eating it too. Let's start, Jaskiran.
Yes, Krish.
You there? Can you please start?
Yeah, Krishant.
Speak a bit loudly.
Jaskiran, are you there? What nonsense is this? Start. We are at the Emvies stage. Hello?
Jaskiran, what are you doing? Just remember you report into me. And this could have very, very serious repercussions.
Hello? Can you please take this up with our management? She's not responding nor replying anything, and we are at the MV stage. We have an award to win. Mediacom's reputation at stake. Can you please start, Jaskiran? Hello?
This is exactly how people react when they're hungry without realizing that there was actually a problem with my audio piece. This is the campaign theme for Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Also, guys, I got you a little something. Yes, you better eat that.
Thanks, Jaskiran. I think that helps. So this is exactly what happened when Kretz realized and released their new campaign with Rahul Dravid during IPL 2021. The campaign, Indra Nagar Ka Gunda, with Rahul Dravid showed him reacting angrily in a daily life situation, which is exactly the opposite we know him to be. Our social listening team is always active and upbeat in catching these viral trends that could be leveraged for a brand like Snickers. We saw these comments from users talking about the ad, reminding them of Snickers instead of Kretz, since Dravid wasn't being himself and he was very, very hungry.
These comments, reached out to the client with the thought on a Sunday morning, let's do a guerrilla and own this space with content created out of it. Client was on board with the thought. We got verified influencers, 100 plus micro influencers to create their versions of the ad and release it through their handle across social media channels.
As soon as we initiated the campaign, people jumped on it and started sharing their versions of the ad, while also mentioning the earlier brand asset in their talking. All this was planned and executed in just a matter of 3 days, since we knew the trend of Indra Nagar Ka Gunda wasn't going to last long.
With 2.5 million reach on social and 5 times the engagement than a normal influencer campaign, and installing the brand recall for "You're not you when you're hungry," we turned out to be the real gundas of this trend.
No more complaints.
Thanks, Krishant.
Thank you, judges.
Thank you, judges.
Thank you.
You.
Asmita, you can announce.
Moving on to the next presentation by Wavemaker for Cadbury Dairy Milk, Madbury.
Judges, can we go ahead with the presentation?
Yes.
Can you please confirm if I can start?
Yes, Ravi, you can start. Your time starts now.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ravi Sharma from Wavemaker. Cadbury Dairy Milk has been synonymous with chocolates for decades. With more than 40% penetration in the urban household and a market share of 45% in the chocolates category. From being an alien treat to being known as the modern dessert, it has literally created the category
through its journey of iconic advertising and brand building efforts. However, in recent times, the brand was witnessing a decline in brand love scores. So, how does an iconic brand like Cadbury Dairy Milk continue to evolve and remain relevant to audiences while driving brand love? To understand how do we continue to be relevant to our audiences, we did a deep dive to understand the category, the consumer, and finally the media behavior. First was understanding the category. Love for food, or more so sweet delicacies, is one thing that unites a diverse country. However, given the length and breadth of our country, what we speak and how we speak changes every 100 kilometers. Taste preferences are also distinct, which are unique to every area. And hence, creating variants for each of these areas was a steep challenge, as launching only one variant in itself requires a huge amount of cost and effort in research and development. Second was understanding the consumer. Pandemic forced people to stay at home and brought experimentation to cooking and recipes. With growth in do-it-yourself recipe trend, consumers also began to explore customization and personalization in chocolates. However, the challenge was with availability of different kinds of ingredients like fruits, dry fruits, and chocolate, personalization would lead to innumerable possible combinations. Third was understanding the media behavior of our audiences. Our audiences were mobile forward, with smartphone at heart of all their content consumption. Also, targeting these audiences basis only their demo and geo profiles was futile, which was evident in the falling CTR and low brand health compared to precision marketing. Hence, targeting audiences with filters basis chocolate consumption became imperative. However, it was not possible as these filters were not available in India or globally. Given the above context, we had three key challenges. First, the challenge of multiple variants for mini India. Second was the challenge of personalization in a mass category. And the final challenge of non-availability of targeting possibilities basis chocolate consumption. To help us solve the above challenges, we leveraged social media to create world's largest research, which helped us to understand which variant works in which part of the country, level of personalization required to reach audiences, and how do we leverage first-party based lookalikes to target chocolate consumption-based cohorts. Hence, bringing together personalization at scale by marrying relevant audiences with relevant creatives and relevant contexts. Madbury was a unique exclusive experience created of consumers, for consumers, by consumers. It was a social platform which gave consumers power to choose from local and international flavors, choose the ingredients, give it their name, and create their own version of Cadbury. Through this initiative, every consumer got a chance to don their culinary hats and tighten their aprons while they create their own flavor of Cadbury Dairy Milk bar. Presenting the AV.
We asked the world, kahan se aayegi hamari ugly Cadbury? With over 100 flavors including 30 Indian ingredients to mix and match for their inventions. We personalized the campaign to capture the right consumer at the right moment with the right thought on the right platforms. We married the consumer data signals relevant to the campaign to direct them to the platforms where they could participate. We created over 30 creatives on Facebook and YouTube, which were localized based on the city and language spoken in the region. We also rode on the daily topicality of Indian Premier League and pitted the two playing cities against each other. Kunal Kapoor, India's renowned chef, came on board as the official judge of Madbury 2020 and acknowledged and interacted with the Madbury 2019 winners. Presence on MasterChef Australia on Disney Plus Hotstar ensured we created awareness among high-affinity cohorts. We encouraged the participants from the Madbury 2019 contest and dropouts from this edition to come back and try their luck again. Consumers were so excited that they began sharing their inventions on social media, driving organic traffic beyond industry's benchmarks. All of these elements were directed to the key platform of Madbury website and MyGeo app.
Now coming to the results. With the Madbury initiative, Cadbury Dairy Milk's brand relevance and brand love scores increased significantly. There was also huge sales impact on both the core brand and the new variant. With this initiative, we received 3.3 million entries in just 60 days. Also, while we launched the top 5 flavors voted by the audience as limited edition pack, basis the consumer preference, the initiative helped us with over 100 viable variants for the future. So, what makes this innovation unique? First, we developed a scalable business model for a new product development, which kept consumers at its core and was eventually replicated by other geographies. Second, we challenged the existing norms with shift in focus from airing to sharing, from exposure to experience, and from participation to co-creation. And at last, we leveraged consumer data for rich audience insights, which were beyond demographics and conventional affinities and focused on chocolate consumption, flavor preference, and buying behavior. Thus, we recreated the holy grail of digital, which had personalization at scale by putting the 3 R's, this is relevant audience, relevant creative, and relevant context together. And by doing this, we put the social back in social media. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you, Ravi.
Ravi, thank you very much for that presentation. Can we, Kavita, can we have the stock of
the next presentation, DDB Mudra Group for Delhi International Airport Limited, hub that sprang into motion as world halted.
Kavita, how many after this?
After this, 2.
After this, 2 more to go.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Good going.
Can we start the presentation?
Yeah, just sharing the screen.
Sorry, I can't see the presentation. Is it up?
No.
Vishal? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I'm so sorry about that. Like actually with DDB, we don't have permission for Zoom. So just for sorting that out.
It's okay, Vishal. It's okay. You can start.
Yeah. So hi, fellow passengers. Good morning. We are representing Delhi International Airport here to present our case, hub that sprang into motion as the world halted. For this case, I would like to take you guys, like it's a throwback trip that we will take during the time when the COVID just entered. Yeah, as human, we all have certain fears. The feeling of change, the feeling of being stuck, the feeling of being hopeless, and realizing that if this situation probably is the end or a dead end for us. That's exactly the kind of fear that the COVID brought to us. And we were anxious, we were confused about everything. There were no certainty, there was no clarity in how the world's gonna move ahead. And then, Mr. PM, we announced the lockdown. During this time, all we could see in news were information regarding how the cases are rising, what's the death rate, how the lockdown is moving towards, like what all can we do, what all can we not. And this created a sense that there was like a lot of anxiety, there was like a lot of confusion, and of course our fear, it just grew. It grew to the fact that we're not sure that even if we'll be moving out of our places to meet our dear ones, is the environment safe for us? and to the fact that even essential travel, if we could do that, or we won't be able to do that. As a hub, Delhi airport on a daily basis speaks to a lot of people. Like there are lakhs of travelers that we were that had certain amount of queries that they had. They wanted one-stop solution. They wanted a place where they can gather all information. They wanted regular updates. And that's exactly what we did. We did not go mute as in the initial presentation. We could, like, my laptop just didn't allow me to. So we did not, thankfully, go mute during the time when we actually wanted to, like the people wanted us. So with our social media presence and all the platform that we are active, we became proactive with information like these, because that was something that people required, because again, coming from their anxious mind, we provided information like regarding the guidelines, the new the advisories, like whatever the change was happening. This one was like the quick responses, because it was not only like a one-sided communication. We were being conversational about like the people, and we addressed their query in response time. Yeah, not only that, we did the responses, we also came up with campaign Fly Safe, where we provided information regarding what all safety measures that the airport was taking during the time when there were relaxation and there was some sort of travel which was allowed. What did we achieve? We first, because of our two-way communication, we could solve all the queries which had like which the people came on social to us. We also, with the Fly Safe campaign, we built trust and confidence within the traveler, because again, they had no clue how to move ahead when they want to travel next. And also with this trust, we could bring some positive towards the aviation industry, which was deeply impacted because of the pandemic. This is the case. this was the kind of scrapboard that our campaign brought to us. We also had a couple of...
Vishal, your time's up.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So, Smita, now which case study number?
Now moving on to Webmaker. For Netflix, love a dirty fight, enter into one, AK versus AK, world's biggest digital war.
And after this, how many?
Only one.
Only one. Okay.
Amrita, please wait. We will let you know.
Sure.
Jury members, can we go ahead and start the presentation? Once you're done with me. Okay.
Please.
You can start the presentation.
Allow me a minute. I'm also trying to just share sound so that we don't face any glitches.
Yeah. You can just close the screen share option. There, while sharing itself, you will get the option to share the sound on the Zoom.
What was our... Please confirm that my slides are visible.
Yes, we can see your slides and you can start.
Great. Hi, everyone. I'm Amrita and I'm going to take you through the next case on Netflix. The second half of 2020 saw an array of new releases on OTT platforms as they tried to capitalize on an entertainment-starved audience. With cinema theaters being shut, big budget movies started preparing for an OTT release as the concept of multiplexes moved online. All OTTs started building their Bollywood content catalog with marquee names ranging from Akshay Kumar to Varun Dhawan. Netflix too saw this as an opportunity to build its subscriber base on the back of Bollywood content. And they decided to release AK versus AK. But first, let's talk about the lead AK. No, he was not the Khiladi Bhaiya Akshay Kumar, nor was he the critics' favorite Ayushmann Khurrana. He was the evergreen Anil Kapoor, a once popular A-list actor who was now relegated to playing character roles. However, we wondered if our target audience, the young digital natives, would be interested in seeing him in the lead cast. Let's talk about the other AK, Anurag Kashyap, a well-renowned movie actor, but hardly a recognizable face. And this was our very first challenge. How do you promote a Bollywood movie with not so popular faces? Despite their fame, not many would have bought a Netflix subscription to watch Anil Kapoor or Anurag Kashyap. Challenge number 2. While the Indian palette is best suited for masala movies, Netflix decided to bring a dark comedy thriller, a genre which leads to dismissal in consideration. Our key objective was to create buzz around AK versus AK, leading to consideration for Netflix. This was also a period when other OTTs were launching high decibel campaigns featuring popular stars. So the task was clearly cut out for us. Now let me ask you, how many of us remember the infamous Salman Khan versus Vivek Oberoi fight? I'm sure most of us do. Two celebrities being friendly? No big deal. Two celebrities getting into a fight? Big deal. We decided to build our campaign on this very insight. Everyone likes a good fight, but they love a dirty one. We decided to play on the voyeuristic instinct of our consumers and serve them a 4-course masaledar meal by setting up a real-life conflict between the two AKs and sequentially leak the stories. This generated
much excitement, and got our audience interested in the two AKs and their upcoming movie. By creating this real life conflict, we pulled the people into this nasty spat and gave them enough scoop to share and fuel this fight. And with this, we rewrote every rule in the movie marketing playbook and created the biggest celebrity fight on social media. Now let us show you how we did it.
December of 2020 was a time when life as we knew it was slowly coming back to normal. AK vs. AK, a Netflix dark comedy, had a trailer release that was just around the corner.
सर एक फिल्म की कहानी सुनानी सर आपको। सोनम कपूर लापता है, आपको उसे ढूंढना है सुबह सूरज उगने तक।
But on the morning of 6th December, something unexpected happened that threw everyone off. Yesteryear's superstar Anil Kapoor and India's most controversial director Anurag Kashyap were at war.
अनुराग को इतना बड़ा फुटेज क्यों दे रहे हैं? बट सर इतना बड़ा फिल्म मेकर और बड़ा था अब रहा नहीं।
It all started with a single tweet. Everyone likes a good fight, but they love a dirty one. Round 1. Twitter clash. Anil Kapoor found himself on the receiving end of an unprovoked diss from Anurag Kashyap. This led to a sequence of jabs from both AKs, taking shots at each other's personal, professional life. The Twitterverse was abuzz, wondering what in the world was going on. It seemed like neither party was holding back. Both were intent on disrespecting and discrediting the other. The fight was personal. Round 2. Added evidence. The press was invited for a virtual screening of the AK vs. AK trailer and to interview the director and cast of the film. The mean tweets were still fresh and Anil Kapoor wasn't having any of it. He openly challenged Anurag Kashyap to a game of fists.
अगर खुन्नसी निकालनी है तो सामने सामने निकालना, ये ट्विटर पे तो कोई भी कर सकता है, समझे ना? तेरे को जो भी बोलना था, you could have easily said it face to face ना? फोन कर लेता मुझे, तो फोन कर लेता।
मैं तो असली जोक्स मारे नहीं, मैंने इतने सारे जोक्स थे, लेकिन क्या है ना कि अभी आप
नहीं मारना, अभी सामने सामने मारना, ट्विटर पे तो कोई भी मारता है।
The situation was tense and got worse after the trailer was aired, as Anil Kapoor revealed that it wasn't the trailer he had approved.
What the trailer जो तुमने भेजा था, I think that's not the trailer जो हम लोग ने approve किया दोनों ने। It was approved in Los Angeles, not only in India. Los Angeles से approve.
Round 3. A stronger line of conflict. It was believed that both AKs had taken control of the marketing of this film when two trailers dropped. The first from the perspective of Anurag Kashyap and the second from Anil Kapoor. Over 37 million viewers watched a narrative from two different lenses, splitting the fans in two, Team Kashyap and Team Kapoor.
Last 1 minute.
Kashyap versus Kapoor was now trending all over social media. Round 4. More fuel to the fire. Anil Kapoor decided to get a little more creative and teamed up with his old friend and Ram Lakhan co-star Jackie Shroff to put together a movie review video that was rightly named Maushi's Planning.
उसकी और उसकी फिल्मों की क्या लगानी है? मुझे मावशीची टांग। देव डी तू बराबर बोला डब्बा। च से चुन्नी लाल, चू से इसने सबको बना दिया चू। पिक्चर का नाम चोक थे। हाँ चोकटे पूरी चोक। हाँ चोक पूरी पिक्चर गटर के अंदर। ये 5 घंटे की पिक्चर अगर गाली निकाल दिया तो 30 मिनट में खत्म हो जाएगा यार। बंद कर यार, बंद करे भाई नहीं।
If things weren't public enough, the two AKs got bolder with bold fonts on Mumbai's billboards.
Time's up.
This was trending all over social media. The PR from this cunning and out-of-the-box campaign exceeded our expectations. Netflix downloads spiked by 11% and MAUs jumped by 23%. From the get-go, we made audiences believe that Anil Kapoor and Anurag Kashyap were actually at war with each other. The film received the highest number of mentions and conversations, making it the biggest.
Thank you.
And the last presentation, this section, to Wavemaker for Cadbury Dairy Milk, drowning hate with hearts.
Jury members, please let us know once you're ready for the next presentation.
Good to Hello. Go. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Pooja, please start.
Okay.
Yes, you can start, Pooja.
All right. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. What a wonderful day it has been today. We've seen some interesting cases of brands using social media, driving engagement, innovation, and even brand purpose. My name is Pooja Padmanabhan, and I am from Wavemaker. I'm here to present a case study on Cadbury Dairy Milk, drowning hate with hearts. We've always seen social media as a medium to celebrate and express our feelings with one another. But there is always a dark underside to social media, which isn't talked about enough: cyberbullying. Exactly. This is becoming an issue of major concern, taken as seriously as a full-time profession by trollers and not seriously enough by society and policymakers. Trust me, this monster is only growing every day, impacting the well-being of Gen Z who spend their formative years using social media. Some youth respond to incessant bullying by staying offline for a while, but also get away from all the benefits that they get from staying online. Besides, staying away from social media also sends a wrong signal to all the bullies and further encourages their unacceptable behavior. As a brand that the youth considered iconic for creating happy moments, Cadbury Dairy Milk had to take a stand. We collaborated with Facebook to understand the motivators and inhibitors of cyberbullying and the apathetic attitude towards it. We uncovered something called the bystander effect, a psychological phenomenon which inhibits people to stand up against the oppressive acts with high number of witnesses. Cadbury Dairy Milk wanted to instigate a behavioral change to move from just being a bystander to stand up for their loved ones by using a simple tool that cut across all barriers. As a representative icon to combat the hate, we selected the purple heart emoji, and this paved way to our thought: heart the hate. Purple heart do, dost ka saath do, which simply meant share a purple heart to stand by a friend against cyberbullying. Let us have a look at how we brought this to life.
I have no idea why none of my friends stood up for me when I was bullied. Those bullies would have shut up even if one of them had supported me.
Why don't you just lose some weight, yaar? Why don't you just lose the ability to talk, yaar? Why don't you just die, yaar?
And with all the love and support that we get from it, there's also a lot of hate that comes up.
So it actually is an alignment of how I think, which is kill them with kindness. So every time you see a negative comment, hate comment, a troller, reply with a purple heart.
All you need to do is leave a purple heart.
Post a purple heart.
Purple heart. Purple heart.
Priti, you're on.
Yeah, I'm ready.
अब से नया रूल है, तब तक पर्पल हार्ट्स भेजो जब तक ट्रोलिंग रुक न जाए। Let's kill it. इस फ्रेंडशिप डे पर्पल हार्ट दो, दोस्त का साथ दो। पर्पल हार्ट दो, दोस्त का साथ दो।
Giving a new meaning to an existing emoji meant that we were putting an anti-cyberbullying weapon in the hands of each and every social media users, irrespective of language or their handset make. The results showed 36,000 recorded conversations, which was 6 times higher than the average of any other campaign done by the brand. The campaign delivered 56 million video views and engagement rates on Twitter soared to 16% that year. Campaign gained further traction in the global community when the fans of
Last
BTS,
1 minute.
a South Korean boy band, discovered Purple Heart and endorsed the message worldwide. Cadbury Dairy Milk saw a 2% increase in relevance scores amongst the youth and a 3% increase in consideration. Sales increased by 7% over previous month and market share jumped by 1% over previous year. It would be a bit of a stretch to say that Cadbury Dairy Milk has stopped cyberbullying, but it's definitely a step taken in the right direction. I end this case with a hope that one day Purple Heart drowns out all the trolls on social media. Thank you guys and have a good day.
Thank you, Bhuya.
Thank you.
May I, since this is the first time that Ad Club has done the case study presentation online, may I request the jury members to please share their feedback? I mean, they can express how was the experience.
Hi, this is Dhruv here. I'd just like to say congratulations to Bipin, to you and the whole team. I actually enjoyed this format in these last few hours. I have been part of other jury sessions where they've sort of dumped the videos and all the assets on us and said, please go through it and give your scores by so-and-so date and time. And I think this is far more engaging. It's a lot better. I think it's as close to being there, I think, as we could possibly have done. So thank you for this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Bipin. This is Nitish here. I think I echo the sentiment. Congratulations, well organized, despite all the challenges. I think really good format. I mean, it's far more engaging to hear someone, talk about the case study rather than just read it. I think it adds a little bit of the flavor of how this was conceptualized, what was the thinking behind it. And just one, maybe just one small suggestion. I know it'll take a lot, maybe a little more time, but maybe 5 minutes for deliberations amongst the jury could kind of get the collective thinking behind, or collective feedback behind each of the entries. But I know, I mean, it just expands on time. So, but in the current format, really good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bipin and all the fellow jury members. I think very engaging session, some interesting case studies. And I had a similar comment as well, which is that it would be nice also to do a bit of deliberation and discuss it. I know it takes a little bit more time, but I think a little bit of value comes in from that as well, both for the jury members as well as to come to a consensus on which are some really good deserving entries. So that's the only feedback. Otherwise, I thought extremely efficient process and very happy to see we ending well ahead of time for a change. So that was very nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can go, Bipin. I must tell you, I think it's the best that I've ever been to, and we've all been to many. On many counts, I think it was very rigorous. So you guys sent us the entries in writing, a good time before the presentation. I did go through them, and you're right. Sometimes presentations do bias you, so I think it was very good to read through the entries, before. And then, of course, the presentations themselves are very timely, short, crisp. And I also like the fact that the juries are doing, actually, while the consultations are good, but I like your process in terms of juries giving individual feedback. And then I think you're going to apply your own filter. And, I presume that's going to be an audited process. So very fair, very timely, very inspiring, thought-provoking. So really well done. And maybe you could help us run some of our strategy meetings, Bipin. I think you're a huge asset.
Wonderful coming from you, Deepika, Rajesh, and all the jury members. I think extremely, I think this is music to ears. Thank you very much.
Bipin, not much to add, but just adding my congratulations. I've also been part of the previous jury, and I think you did it really well, considering that you were doing it online first. You were yourself skeptical, but I think the team has done extremely good job in terms of just, organizing the entire process and giving us a good experience, and giving, I think, presenters also a good experience, and keeping them to the time. Everything's been very well managed. Thank you so much.
Great job, Bipin. Time management was the key here. Fantastic job done. Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you for inviting. It was a very, very pleasurable experience, and I echo all the sentiments. I think all the panelists gave the right feedback. Obviously, I think a little bit more time between us to just talk about merits, demerits, right, could have been amazing. But I know maybe in a physical format that could have been possible. But thank you so much. I think the team did an amazing job in being a very, very efficient time manager in that way.
So actually, we finished the whole session 45 minutes ahead of the schedule.
Yes.
And a big thanks to all the jury members. I think you all have been absolutely brilliant and fantastic. And some of you have judged Emvies in the past also. And all this words, kind words coming from you all, I think it means a lot to us. And this was for the first time. I'm sure from here it is going to improve, and I take your feedback and I'll put it across to the managing committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice meeting you all. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah.
Bye.
One more question. I mean, we have shared the Google form on the WhatsApp link. WhatsApp.
Yeah,
so
we'll do
please.
that. We'll do that.
Done.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I thank my team also. Entire team has done a fabulous job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Secretariat, Shravan,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks to all.
Bye.
Bye.